1207, Tucker.
He doesn't know what that means.
He knows what it is. It's what? Ron Paul.
Shut up, Brett.
It's Ron Paul's anti-Fed.
All right. Bill. I just want to make sure, Brent. I just want to make sure that Tucker. So I didn't want to call Scarborough up to see what HR 1207 was.
Well, and the question is,
and maybe call my boy Joe Scarborough.
The question is, Barney Frank is the guy that's sitting on this bill, and when is somebody going to ask him why he is? He's on Fox News all the time.
Barney Frank is on Fox?
Yeah, he's on Bill O'Reilly all the time.
Tucker's like, I quit.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just am not a fan of Barney Frank. Barney Frank is one of the least pleasant people I've ever met in my entire life.
Okay, but
being that as it may.
He's sitting on HR 1207, and somebody needs to ask him why he's doing it. I got 276
update on HR 1207. It's 276 co-sponsors to amend Title 31 of the U.S. Government Code to reform the manner in which the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System is audited by the Comptroller General of the United States and the manner in which such audits are reported. So basically, Senator Ron Paul out of Texas is asking for an audit
of the Federal
Reserve, which makes sense, right? Well, he's got 276 co-sponsors. Why are they not talking about this?
And 19 senators are on board.
Hey, I have some Ron Paul audio. I want Tucker to comment on semi.
Congressman Paul, first of all, I want to thank you so much for taking a moment to talk with us in the course of your workday. I know that our time of day is tricky. What is the resistance? Where is the resistance? Why is there resistance to your efforts to audit the Federal Reserve when the reasons to do so would seem phenomenally obvious?
I think the resistance comes from whose interests are being challenged. So those who are involved in the Federal Reserve System, they don't want to be challenged.
So who is that? Is that Goldman Sachs?
Well,
is that?
No, Tucker. This is really kind of out of the president's grasp, is it not? I mean, does he even have a dog in this fight?
The president?
Yeah.
Of course.
How about the Federal Reserve?
Of course, he appoints the chairman of the Federal Reserve, and Bernanke comes up in January, and he's like desperately attempting to keep his job.
I understand that, but wouldn't the audit now, Brent, be for the fiscal year of 2008? And it wouldn't even be on the president's tab at this juncture?
I think they're looking at a full audit.
Okay.
From top to bottom.
But still, our president shouldn't be nervous about this. In fact, I think it would be great disclosure to the American public. And Tucker, if it's got to be done, then do it now when you, as the president, have all kinds of plausibility. Do you not? I mean, that's not on you at this juncture, right?
Yeah, I think everything is on him now.
Well, but I think he's he's a smooth enough brother, as you have reported, that he could say, hey, listen, you know what? This system is broken. I'm here to fix it. I'm glad that Senator Paul brought this up. We're going to look into this report, and we're going to find, where the problems are. And you know what? I just got here a few months ago, and I'll fix it, bitch. Now, Brent, he has a certain amount of open window to get that done. And meanwhile, the longer he goes as president, the more it's going to get hung on his tab.
You're exactly right. And if he fights this at all, because this is one where I've seen Democrats and Republicans and Libertarians and everybody's on board.
Tom,
here. If he fights this at all, he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
If he was the ultimate professional wrestler worker that he should be, he should say, you know what, I invite it. Audits are good. Let's see where how this is ran. What's the problems? And after a full disclosure report, I will look into this. Now, this 98% of it's not on my tab, but I'll fix it. I'm the man that's got to be responsible for fixing it, and it can be a win-win for him, Tuck, don't you think? But you got to do it in a very timely fashion, which is now.
Yeah, that's not his style at all. I mean, Obama's style is not to take control like that. Obama's style is to come up with these huge, sweeping changes to American life and then let Congress work over the details.
Is that the previous treasurer?
Well,
who is that?
The immediate Federal Reserve Board, as well as all the banks that belong, especially the big banks, and that would include people like Goldman Sachs and all.
Now, Tucker, out of all the shadiness and underhandedness that we are exposed to as Americans, is the Federal Reserve one of the biggest boondoggles ever? That the American people really don't know how it is ran in the good old boy network at its finest. Is it really, if they really dug into it the way Senator Paul would like, and me as well, I mean, would it be astonishing what we found?
No. I don't think it would be. I think you can. I don't buy the idea that if there's some conspiracy hidden within the Federal Reserve. I think it's actually pretty obvious what happened.
Well, it's hidden in plain
the Federal
sight,
Reserve
Tuck.
bows to political pressure. I mean, up until recently, up until right about now, the Obama administration. I mean, back up one sentence. Obama's plan is to make the Federal Reserve 20 times more powerful than it's ever been, which is a disastrous idea in my opinion. But up until now, the Federal Reserve's basic role has been to set interest rates, to make, judgments about how expensive money should be. And I think it has bowed to political pressure under Clinton, Bush, and now Obama to keep interest rates artificially low. And that is one of the reasons we're in the crisis we're in, because money was really cheap. People bought things they couldn't afford. And that's not a conspiracy. It's just pretty obvious what's going on. Nobody does anything about it.
I just got a text from Dr. Dan Diaco, world-renowned plastic surgeon to the stars. He said, Courtney Friel, Courtney somebody.
Friel, yeah.
She's the hottest on Fox News. Tucker needs to ditch the blue wrinkled shirt, and Obama wants to tax plastic surgery.
Okay. I'll never ditch the blue shirt. My shirts aren't that wrinkled. Obama should not tax plastic surgery. Plastic surgery makes people feel good about themselves. I'm from Southern California. I'm totally for it.
And Courtney
and Courtney Friel. Yeah, I don't know Courtney Friel. I think I've heard she's really pretty. Mark McCallum is the prettiest woman.
Brent, that's Tucker speak for I'm trying to cover my ass with my corporation, but she's a stone cold fox.
The big banks, because the Federal Reserve works in collusion with big banks because money is created.
So, I mean, do you agree or disagree with Ron Paul? I mean, from you, from my early question on, saying you don't think that the Federal Reserve is that shady and underhanded, so that you think that Ron is barking up the wrong tree at this juncture?
I'm not saying it's not shady and underhanded. I just don't buy the conspiracy theories.
Well, it's not a conspiracy theory. Fractional reserve banking is a fact.
Right. Oh, I agree. I mean, look, I'm not defending the Fed. I'm just saying what it does is pretty transparent already.
Yeah, but Tuck, I think
most people don't really understand it.
But Tuck, it's transparent to you. The average person who's not involved with politics, unlike you, doesn't know exactly what's going on. And yes, it's there, but it's hidden in plain sight. And there's a lot of things that the average Americans don't know because they have nobody to actually point them to and say, this is what's happening.
Tucker, what you need to do, man, is you need to dummy yourself down.
Yeah, you're not the average guy, Tuck.
Yeah, you're not the average guy right now, Tuck. You're far smarter than the average guy. This is your life. This is what you do. This is what you do. That Washington D.C. and all of how it works is what you do. And the average guy living in Des Moines, Iowa, doesn't get it, but would be probably.
I mean, the average person probably still thinks the Federal Reserve is actually federal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that the Congress of the United States has the authority to print money. Why we have to buy money from the Federal Reserve, and what is secret, Tucker, is which banks are members of the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, Tucker.
Yeah, but it's still, the Federal Reserve's basic function is to set the value of money, right? To set the value of American currency. And you can see that it responds to political pressure from whatever administration is in power. And that's probably a bad thing, and that's all obvious. And people who spend a lot of time imagining that there's a secret, meeting every year in Bilderberg, or that
there is,
right, that the Rockefellers and international Jewish bankers are strangling our country. I mean, those people just haven't taken the time to kind of understand how it actually works.
Where did my straight shooting, not afraid to piss off anybody, Tucker come from?
Well, see, he threw.
What do you mean? I'm pissing off tons of people. I'm sure every conspiracy nut who listens to your show is pounding his fist against the dashboard saying, "Where's that boy live?"
Hey, Brent.
But I'm just telling the truth. I have lived here a long time, and I think that their vast conspiracies are too complicated for anybody in Washington to pull off successfully.
But that's not what we're talking about.
Bill O'Reilly's on the phone. He wants his conservatism back.
We're not talking about vast conspiracies. We're talking about the Federal Reserve, who we purchase our money from through the U.S. Treasury. That's not a conspiracy. Yeah. That's what actually happens.
Well, I'm not defending the Fed. I'm just saying the flaws in the Fed are really obvious. It doesn't take some kind of hidden series of agreements to make them bad.
Yeah, but again, Tuck, it's obvious to you. There's things that are obvious to you that are not obvious to other people. We need Ron Paul and this thing to pass so they can smarten up some other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I mean, look, I'm not against it. I'm all for auditing it. And I mean, but Congressman Paul wants to return to the gold standard. He disagrees with the whole idea of.
What's wrong with that?
That's the
I don't think we can ever get back to the gold standard, man. I don't think we.